Did GitHub just die by Cursor Origin? In today's video, we're going to learn everything we need to know about this new code repository tool. And I'll explain this as simple as possible, as if you've never coded in your entire life. So if that all sounds good, let's jump in. Welcome back, y'all. Today, we're going to be checking out Origin. This is extremely interesting, as I've personally seen some bottlenecks with GitHub. Obviously, GitHub is a way more mature software when it comes to this. But today, we're going to set up our own little repository here. We're going to play around with it and do some cool things. But for everyone that's new, let me just quickly explain why this is even used in software development or when you're vibe coding. So the next like a minute or 2 minutes, if you're a developer, you might be like, Corbin, this is dumb. You're speaking too simple. Just hold on, okay? Long story short, when you open up a project in Cursor, Codex, Quad Code, it's literally just a folder. And whenever you named your project, it might be my app. But what you need to understand fundamentally is this is just a folder that has code files in it. With something like Origin does, or GitHub, is that it puts this folder in the cloud. And when that folder, your absolutely beautiful, amazing folder is in the cloud, that's supposed to be like a tab, you can do a bunch of cool stuff. But to put simply, someone like a vibe coder, why it's important is it gives you version control. So for example, you upload this to, I guess in today's video, Origin. It's in Origin. There is a duplication that you have your folder locally on your computer, where if your computer were to absolutely explode and die, you lose the folder. But now you don't lose the folder because now Origin has the folder. And what this allows you to do is like branches, code and main branch. And then the idea is that your first folder upload would be version 1. We call this V1. You go an absolute spree, absolute rabbit hole. You start using bad models, good models, amazing models. And then slowly you get to version 2. This would be like, hey, separate branch, I'm in version 2. I like version 2. Version 2 seems like a solid version of my application. This is when you go back here and merge to the original branch, which was V1, but we can just call this main. And then congratulations, you've updated your application. And what you can do now in theory is that if you keep going down version 2, or you begin the process to version 3, you can be like, wait, I absolutely messed up. Version 3 is trash, vibe coded bad, and you can roll back to version 2. When I say versions, y'all, literally stop overcomplicating it in your head, okay? Let's say version 1 is literally just a landing page. I'll show you a real landing page. Boost OS. This is version 1. All it is a landing page. And let's say in version 2, all I did was add this component. Amazing code packs, production. I love it. If I don't like this situation here, I just roll back to version 1, which was just the landing page. Think of it like adding and minusing code that exists in your application. You might hear my computer fans right now. That's because I'm running like 20 agents in parallel. That's a side note. Origin. And some of y'all might have already skipped here. Okay, get started. You're going to name it. This is going to be like your GitHub profile. I like doing fun names. I'm going to do Coffee Bump. Why? Because I like coffee and it bumps me up. So we're going to do Coffee Bump here and save and continue. From this, you may or may not have an integrated GitHub part here. You can actually just sync them later. This is like syncing a code base into here. I am going to sync the project here in real software. You can check out in the description down below called Boost OS. The purpose of this is just basically to make your AI better at coding. Useful, right? So let me go and click my profile. Right now, that profile doesn't exist here. So I'm going to add a repository and then go through the authentication. So actually, I'm going to sync actual backend app here from GitHub. This is open source code that I have on my repository. You can check it out. This is like a real backend that I created, I think a year or 2 years ago. I've been doing this for too long, y'all. Okay. So you're just finding me on YouTube now. It's like 4 years. About time. So we're just going to go with that. I'm going to hit continue. And we're going to say sync repo to Coffee Fuel Bump. So it's beginning the syncing process, or to put simply, it's just copying over the code. And then once we have that in here, we can kind of check out how Origin compares to GitHub and the two. So it has successfully synced. It seems like it automatically set it to private. So we can obviously change that. And what that means, private to public, you can access it or I can only access it. So first major thing that you need to understand here is that if you're like, you know what, I'm done with GitHub, RIP GitHub, and you want to make a full cutoff migration here, what you want to do is you go to your 3 ellipses here. You're going to go repo settings. You go to advanced, and then you can detach from GitHub. Because right now, I'm pretty sure they've established kind of a sync situation so that if you push to GitHub again to this exact same repository, the Origin here will pull that code as well. I want you also to notice really cool things found natively within a repository. So the first thing I want you to notice here that is different than GitHub, and GitHub is like a co-pilot. I'm going to keep comparing this to GitHub because obviously that's the incumbent in this space and they're trying to kill, is you'll notice there's Ask Cursor here. This is giving me a little bit of flashbacks to like the early days of Cursor with the command I and all that. But what we can do here is we can select your model. This is very standard stuff, but the purpose of this is kind of more of questioning the underlying repository within their cloud. So the first one I'm going to ask is like, is everything up to date here? Because I assume a lot of these packages are out of date. You can see like a year ago. So I'm going to say, is everything up to date? I'm going to hit enter here and shoot off. Here's what's kind of happening here. In theory, I could ask the exact same thing in my local cursor, like literally the application I double click, and then I can ask that exact same thing and then push or whatever. But what you'll notice here is a little bit of nuance where we're working directly within the repository. And since it's in the cloud, it's kind of communicating back and forth in this nature, right? Like, have we ever really seen a repository where information's behind me, but then we have a chat that's actively working within the UI of the repository? To give context, let's look at GitHub here. You notice how this is very human native, which is good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love GitHub, but there's no chat here, right? And in theory, you might be like, that's not that big of a deal, Corbin, because literally I would just be chatting with it in my IDE anyways, and then it would be communicating via the cloud anyways. But this is the extra layer of nuance here, the native integration side of artificial intelligence within a repository. So I'm going to go to this chat here. What you'll notice is that it says everything is up to date, main. Yeah, okay, so it might have misinterpreted this. So let me actually proctor again. So I'm going to say, is all my packages up to date? You'll notice something else here. This is kind of end game for Origin. Set up cloud agents. What this is going to do is it wants to set up a virtual machine within Cursor's cloud where it can essentially do long runs. Your computer could be off and it can do code changes and actually test locally within their VM machines. That sounds very confusing. Let me take a step back. Basically, what this allows you to do is that your computer could be off and it has a cloud agent that's creating code within your repository. But on top of that, what it's doing really is that because your computer is off, right, and it's just working in the cloud, you may or may not know this, but when you're coding, if you're coding well, you have like E2E test, or you'll do local test where it'll actually use something like Playwright and actually walk through your application to see if it works. This needs a environment. It needs an OS system like Linux. And I assume they use Linux here. And that's what they're doing here. I'm seeing where Origin's going. I see the end game. If anything, you can do everything you see here within GitHub, but they're making it much simpler for most developers to access. Right off the bat, they're not up to date. So I'm going to say, yes, please update them. And if you don't know what a package is or what I'm even doing here, when you install code, let's say you're using Firebase as your backend, that's software as well. And they have their own versions. And over time, they improve. As you can see here, look at this. I mean, look how outdated it was. They improve over time because it's its own software. But then your software uses it, and that's what we call a tech stack. And then obviously I need to update it so that we're to the most up-to-date code for security reasons, for like this software is better now situations. One piece of nuance there is that when you update a package, sometimes like the most recent up-to-date package could break stuff. So that's something to keep in mind. So what you'll notice is that when I click set up the development environment, it is doing it here. Now, this is really where Origin's going to shine. And I assume GitHub's going to have an answer for it, or maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I don't know what GitHub's doing right now, but everything you're seeing here is endgame. Idea being that you have your secrets here. You would add your Anthropic key, OpenAI key, or whatever you're using within your software. This will be loaded into this specific virtual environment that is firing off here. And then what happens is that once this VM is created, we can then fire off a ton of agents either in the Cursor application or alternatively in this web browser here and start firing off. So I'm gonna let this cook. And what I'll do, y'all, don't worry, I'll make a more advanced tutorial on Origin, but let me just show you real quickly what this VM means. So let's go back to the folder example. We got the versions, whatever. And right now you've probably been coding in a way that you're just vibe coding, whether you're, I don't know, using Lovable or something, or just online, you're on your computer. Okay. So you're on your computer, look at all the keys, you're typing, commit, cloud is running, agents running, whatever. That's fine. That's standard, and a lot of times you'll probably already operate in this way. What Origin's trying to do here is take that exact same folder, but then create a isolated computer that is specialized just for this folder, that already has everything pre-installed, and essentially is just a computer that runs like our computer, but then 24/7. And then logically, what you can grab from that is that, okay, cool. So that means I don't even need to have a computer here. In theory, now you can launch off agents that run on this and get a bunch of code changes, and it comes back, and then Origin comes back to the folder. Does it make sense? Let me know in the comments if I need to explain that better. I'm going to do a full-blown expert level Origin tutorial. This is like is this really going to kill GitHub? video. And from my perspective, I don't know. Don't bet against Cursor. A lot of people were doubting them originally when they launched, and they were like, "Oh, who needs like it's just VS Code." Okay, like 3 years later, they get $60 billion bought out by SpaceX situation. What I've learned of Cursor is this is cool. Give Origin a year or two, and it's gonna be like, what just happened of coding? That situation again. So without further ado, make sure to leave a like. Also, before the sign off here, check out Boost OS. And don't worry, it works with all your app builders, built by me. And your next question might be like, Corey, why do I need this? Because right now, and you probably already see this, you don't necessarily have all the senior engineering terminology to know what to actually say to an application in order to get it to do it correctly. That's why I created Boost OS. Description down below. I'll see you in the next. The Corey just break down what Origin is and why Origin is an important type of video.